how's it going? How's it going? Goes it well? Goes it well indeed. Oh man, it's another hot day. There's a spider on my ceiling. How nice. Okay. Well, let's get started then. Oh, controller having some weird issues. There we go. Okay, see if I can open... the chat. Okay. All right. Let's get started. I guess let's resume chapter. Did I bookmarked it, didn't I? Or was that not what I did? Yeah, I guess I did. Okay, good. Alright, so now we're doing some Elwood business here. You get to meet one of my favorite characters, Rebecca the Villager. I don't know anything about Lowen or Marcus, other than they're just there. But Elwood's cool. He doesn't get enough love, I think. In Heroes, he got some pretty good attention, I think, though. It's kind of weird how, like, Roy got a lot of the attention as being, like, the son of the character from this game, which this game showed off... Well, this game came out first in the West. So you would think that Elwood would have more of, like, a following than Roy, but it was literally Smash Brothers that made Roy infinitely more popular. Like, if they had put Elwood in Smash Brothers instead of Roy, everyone would be saying Roy is like a bootleg Elwood. But everyone likes to say Elwood is bootleg Roy just because of the fact that Roy is, like, more iconic. And I never understand that. Because Roy just looks like Elwood. Like, he literally just looks like Elwood, so I don't know why Elwood is any less iconic, I guess. Look, Dorcas, can you believe it? It's just like that knight said. That's Lord Elwood. So it seems. What's he doing? Hey, he's taking on those bandits. Protecting innocence, that's the right lordly thing to do, isn't it? Right, Dorcas? You talk too much. The lordling needs our help. Right. Leave these mountain weaklings to me. I'm Bartray the Brave. Hey, boss, I'll be back on in about 10 minutes. Sorry. No problem, Ridley. No problem at all, my friend. Rebecca's gonna need that early push in order to actually be relevant later. Sorry, I'm not reading this. Just because it, like, all she's saying is that it's gonna, she just is giving you a defense item. That's all she's doing. If you guys really cared about that, I'm very sorry. Man, it's so hot. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna get a cold drink. Water usually hits the spot. Alright. Yeah, Marcus is another one of those Frederick-type characters. Bulky cavalier that is basically relevant throughout the initial half of that part that they take place in, but they always fall off as far as stats are concerned in late game. You know, a game I haven't played that I think I should do after this is Sacred Stones. I actually have not played Sacred Stones before. I mean, like, I have it. Like, I have the physical cartridge of Sacred Stones, and I've even popped it in and, like, seen the intro and everything. Never played it, though. Never played it all the way through. I think I should do that. That'd be a cool little... That'd be a cool playthrough, I think. I also want to play Fire Emblem Warriors, but I want to get all the DLC for it just because, you know, Warriors DLC is always, like, really packed. I mean, Warriors games are just always packed just in general. I heard Fire Emblem Warriors isn't too exciting, not like Hyrule Warriors exciting. But I mean, like, they're not much different, though. I mean, the only difference I see is that Fire Emblem Warriors handles Fire Emblem, like Fire Emblem and Zelda... or Hyrule Warriors handles Zelda like Zelda. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just different styles of Warriors games, and I guess Fire Emblem, to some people, didn't translate too well into, like, into Warriors, into the Warriors format. Which I understand, but, they're basically the same game. I don't like not to belittle those that love Fire Emblem Warriors, but they're really, I mean, they're very similar games. The only difference is which games they're trying to celebrate. Hyrule Warriors celebrates Zelda, and Fire Emblem Warriors obviously celebrates Fire Emblem, so... But they're the same kind of game at heart, so, I mean... I haven't played enough of it to make an assessment of my own, to say, like, oh, yeah, it's worse than Hyrule Warriors, but I couldn't imagine it being worse. But... Like, I couldn't, I could see what people mean about it not being better, but I don't understand what people are saying when they say it's worse. Like, how worse? Like, how did they mess this up when it's essentially the same formula? If you get what I'm saying. I don't know if what I'm saying is making any sense or not, but I don't know. I feel like they're too similar to say that one is worse than the other. I could see potentiality for being better, actually, considering they've done it before and they're just improving on a previous formula. From what I played of like the first couple levels, the story was kind of interesting and the characters were fun, well portrayed, I think. Obviously, I haven't played all of it and I haven't seen all the characters yet, so I don't know how well portrayed they are. But as far as I know, the characters are well portrayed. I know they butchered a few Fates characters, but I mean, geez, they're Fates characters. What? So what? You know what I mean? Like they're Fates characters. So you messed up Fates. So you messed up a messed up character. Even more messed up, I guess. Like, I don't know. What's your problem? What's the problem with like screwing up a character that's already kind of got problems? I don't know. You can say that about a lot of Fire Emblem characters after the Awakening period, anyway. Like Chrom, for example. Like, everyone loves Chrom just because of, like, his voice actor and his, like, his artwork and all that sort of thing. That's cool. I can get behind that, but at the same time I can't. A friend of mine actually believes that Chrom is the worst of all of the lords in every Fire Emblem game. Like... He just straight up thinks that, like, Chrom is the worst, which is an incredibly unpopular opinion, you know, based off of the sheer popularity of Chrom and Awakening and things like that. Dang, dude. Overkill much. Jeez, he'll still do incredible amounts of damage. That's insane, but okay, whatever. But I can understand where he's coming from, because Chrom doesn't really have anything particularly special about him. He doesn't really have a very defined character. I mean, he's trusting, you know? Is that it? Like, he's a trusting guy. Sometimes to a fault. I don't know. How can he say that when Corrin exists? That's a good question. I could say, that's what, as I was saying, I could see where he's coming from with that argument, but as and that's the thing, is I actually think he's a slight Fates apologist, so there comes that kind of, there's the rub. But yeah, I think Corrin's worse, personally. I think Corrin's worse. Chrom is he's bland. I agree, he's bland, but and he's kind of one-dimensional. I think that's a fair assessment, but to call him the worst lord, I don't know. Again, I see his point, because Chrom is pretty flat, but I don't necessarily agree 100% when Corrin exists. By the way, hi PR, good to see you.
You would be Lord Ellerwood, yes? Our deepest thanks for coming to the aid of our fair village.
Think nothing of it. It's a lord's duty to protect the citizenry.
Would that were true, my lord. The good folk of Laos know no such protection. Their Marquis, Lord Darren, is too busy preparing for war. He ignores all complaints of bandits and thieves.
Preparing for war? Are you sure?
I would not lie, my lord. My brother lived in Laos until a few days ago. His home was torched, and he had no choice but to flee here. According to him, Laos could go to war any day now. It's all the people of Laos are talking about. Lord Elwood, if this is true, the situation's a grave one. If Marquis Laos is ready for war, his target is most likely another Lycian territory. Perhaps this is connected to Lord Elbert's disappearance.
My father and Marquis Lao? I think I've been pronouncing his name Laos, but I think it's like Lao, actually. Seems a tenuous connection, but it's as good a start as any. Let us travel to Lao. We must learn more. Thank you for your guidance, Sarks. Where are you bound for next? If you have no destination in mind, perhaps you could travel with us. Ours is a small group with a single purpose, to find my father. I do not know where our road will lead, but we would be stronger with you in our company. You will travel with us? Splendid. Thank you. I pray we give you no cause to regret your decision.
Rebecca, where do you think you're going, young lady?
Father, I intend to accompany Lord Elwood.
Don't be ridiculous, girl. Lord Elwood is not going on a picnic. He's riding into danger.
I know that, Father. That's why I want to go. I'm trying to do my best twang as I possibly can. We owe him our lives, and I want to repay him. My bow may not be all that much, but I know I can be of service.
But...
And, Father, I may meet up with my brother somewhere. You're the magistrate. You have responsibilities. This is all I can offer. I need to do this. Please, Father, let me go.
Dear me, you're just as stubborn as your mother was.
I don't know why I made him sound like extra croaky there.
Meh.
Skeletor. I'm sorry, Father.
You must bow to Lord Elwood's wishes on this matter. If he consents, you may go.
Thank you, Father.
Lord Elbert has always been kind to us. Follow his son with a true heart, Rebecca. Serve the Lord Elwood as well as I have served his father. I will, Father. Okay, let's go. After speaking with the village magistrate, Elwood and company set their sights on Lao. The road from Ferra to Lao passes through Santa Ruz. Elwood suspects his missing father must have visited Santa Ruz en route to Ostia. Elwood arranges a meeting with the local ruling lord to see what he can learn. Elwood is here.
Yes, he's set camp upon a hill south of here. He seeks permission to enter Santa Ruz. He seeks an audience with you.
Could it be? Do you think Elwood's come to ask of his father? If that's the case, I know not what to tell him.
Tell him you know nothing, and let him be on his way.
Yet, I know young Elwood well. His father, Elbert, and I were old friends. I've no children of my own, and I've always treasured Elwood. I do not believe I could look him in the eye, and I could not lie to him. I could not.
We've no choice, then. Let us chase the boy away. If you do not speak with him, you need tell no lies.
Wait, do you mean to harm Elwood?
Not harm, frighten. A scratch or two would leave no scars. He will run home to Ferra and be done with his adventure. He is, after all that Ferra has left.
Instead of entering Lao with such a small group, we should meet with Marquis Santa Ruz and request his assistance. I see the sense in that. It's a good plan, Sarks.
Truly so. I tell you again, I'm pleased to have you with us. Lord Hellman, he's not only my father's friend, I have known him since I was a child. I am sure that he will help us.
What? Lord Elwood, beware.
Oh my gosh, that took me by surprise. Just freaking... Chris Farley over here. Oh man, okay, sorry.
Noble sirs, alms for a poor villager. Bleh, bleh. Poor villager, you look nothing like an honest man. Clear the road. Step quickly here. Step quickly? Heh. Good advice. Maybe it's you who should follow it. What?
Yeah, like what?
Someone wants the boy in an early grave. A shame if you ask me, but he'll die here today. Come on, boys, earn your keep.
Here we go again, eh, Sarks? Just like old times. Seems our fates are bound. Natalie? Oh, she's still in Farah. I'm working for you this time, so she's not too worried. Guide my axe, Sarks. Alright. What do you have? Just Rollinaries? That's fine. Matter of fact, I think I'll send Marcus up there just because he needs to stop involving himself in everybody's business.
You look like some experience of battle. No need to conceal it. I've fought in many a battle in my time, I assure you. Let me tell you one thing about combat, though. The most important thing is technique. If you've no skill, you rarely strike your enemy. My instructor gave me this secret book long ago. It will improve the fighting prowess of the one who reads it. I'm too old to make blah 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 blah.
I'm sorry. I'm making a fool of every character in this game. Yay. So, I think down the line, if I end up getting a capture card for 3DSs, I'm going to start playing 3DS games. And one of the first ones I want to play is actually, and this is going to be so surprising to you guys, but I actually want to try Fates. And when I say try Fates, it makes it sound like I've never played it. I have played it. But I've never played every single one. Played Birthright, played Conquest. Well, I beat Birthright, I played Conquest, and I've seen Revelation. So, not that I want to subject myself to that kind of torment, but I feel like it's unfair of me, just as far as integrity is concerned, to just sort of say dismissively that all of the Fates games are terrible and they are just really bad. And I've already acknowledged on stream before, I like the artwork, I like the music, and the gameplay sometimes is actually pretty solid, but the story just irks me and the characters aren't uninteresting. And they went all out with the whole sort of visual novel aspect of that game when it had first come out. Like, for Awakening, it was kind of a minuscule part of it at best. But for Fates, they really ramped it up and made it kind of a central focus of the game. And I didn't really like that because they handled it very poorly. They handled it, like, terribly, actually. And so I want to give Revelation a shot. Not that I'm expecting anything amazing from the story, because I actually already know what happens. But as far as, like, enjoying the game as far as how it plays is concerned, I think I want to give it a try, because I've never actually played Revelations. I've played the other two. So, we'll see. And I don't actually even know how I'm going to get a hold of a 3DS capture card. Those things are really hard to come by. Like, I'm talking really freaking hard to come by. It's not easy at all to do. The only alternative option for me at that point would be to dump 3DS cartridges. Hey, it's Hector!
Hey, what's going on over there? Looks like some rough business. You, soldier, are you just gonna stand there and watch?
What do you think you are? This is Santa Ruz. What occurs here is no affair of any foreign lordling.
I believe I'm gonna have to disagree with you. You see, the man they're attacking happens to be a friend of mine.
A friend? What?
Sorry, but I'm in a hurry. Oh-ho!
If you get the reference. Good on you.
Ew, that was terrible. I loathe violence. Nicely done, my lord. You're a fighter born. I cannot condone resorting to force so quickly.
Chastise me later, Oswin. First, we deal with these brigands. Come, we must help Eliwood.
Help Eliwood? Sounds like a convenient excuse for more violence.
Oswin.
Yes, I'm coming.
Matthew, take Sarah and find some place to hide.
What? With Sarah? No, I'm going with you.
You are not. You'll slow us down.
Oh, how rude.
Oswin, let's go.
Wondering why I'm making Hector's voice sound so masculine is because that's how they portray him in Heroes. That's the only voice we've heard him in so far. And then you might be wondering to yourself, well, then why do you make Lynn sound like a like your just average lordling with like an English accent? Well, see, that's the thing. I've never actually imagined a voice for Hector or Eliwood or anyone else besides Lynn. Whenever I would hear Lynn, I would just hear that voice in my head. And so that's the voice I gave her because I don't know. I've been thinking that was how she sounded for years, so it's hard to get that out of my head. It's hard to, like, transition to Hero's depiction, like, so quickly. But, yeah. Hero's depiction actually kind of overrides any previous thought I would have had about Hector, actually. Oh, come on with that. Oh, Bartray. You're that one guy that really nobody likes. Because you get pulled like every 5 seconds in Heroes. Alright. Oh yeah, I didn't even move them. Or did I move them? No, I didn't. I guess I didn't figure you could move them. I don't know why. So, I know not many people are watching right now, but if you are, just kind of say, I don't know, something. Because I want to know if there's anybody here to answer a question. And if not, then I'll ask it later, to those of you who want to answer. But what do you guys think of Super Mario 64 DS? I don't know, that's always been a problem of mine. Super Mario 64 DS. Not that it's like a problem, but it's just one of those things that I've never really formed a legitimate opinion on, even after all these years. Like, I beat it. Not only did I beat it like 100% back in the day. When it was just on the original DS, I straight up completed that entire game. Every single star, and that includes the new ones. I completed that game. But after playing Mario 64 and realizing how much better the original was, it's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about 64. And not only that, but I played 64 DS when I was much younger and I had poorer tastes. And I just kind of took whatever was thrown at me. I mean, for goodness sake, I ate up Sonic 06 when it first came out. It just kind of goes to show you that if there's no consensus, if there's no societal consensus, you will like just about... You'll be a little bit more liberal with what you actually like. And that's okay. I think it's actually a beautiful thing that when you kind of take out any societal influence from yourself, you start realizing that, hey, you actually do like some of this stuff, even though a lot of people don't. You kind of remove that, and you have, like, when you're a kid, it's a beautiful time because you have this, oh my gosh. Wow, I wasn't even paying attention. Okay. Wow. I can't believe that happened. Someone died, and let alone Hector, Elwood dies. Well, okay, I don't want to have to relive this over and over and over again, so... I don't know why it puts a bookmark there. That's odd. I know I have to restart it, but that's just weird. I don't know. Alright, so let's hurry this up. I'm actually going to give this to Hector. I keep saying Hector, because I love Hector so much, but Elwood. I think I'm going to give that shield to Elwood. The secret book, also, I might give to Elwood also, just for the sake of his... Well, maybe Rebecca, actually. Just so that she could wield better bows. I don't know. Because Elwood is already pretty good, and I'm going to be using him a lot anyway, so... Yeah, I'll probably just do Rebecca, just because she's going to be, like, at a disadvantage most of the time I'm playing. But anyway, I was saying earlier that I think it's a beautiful thing when you're a kid that you have no idea what like, popular opinion is. Like, you don't look into popular opinion when you're a kid. Like, when you're a kid, at least for me, when I grew up, I had so much ignorance about what was actually the popular opinion of everything. Like, I didn't know what everyone's thoughts on, like, as I said, like, Sonic 06 and really, like, Sonic Adventure 2 and, you know, going back, like, older games like Bubsy and stuff. Like, I had no idea about what people's opinions were for most of those games, and now you kind of look at popular opinions for things, and it's just kind of like, it's so saturated because you know what to expect from people. Everyone hates the same stuff. But when you're a kid, you have no sense of that, so when you're divorced from that societal influence, you just become so, like, individual. You have your own opinions as a kid, because you like something legitimately. Like, it's not like an illegitimate like, you just like it. You personally think it's fun, and you're not afraid to say that you think it's fun, but then once you realize that the whole world is against you, then you quickly change your opinions, and you're like, yeah, I actually didn't like that at all anymore. I don't really like this game anymore because, you know, and that's the thing too, is that maybe sometimes it's an illegitimate love. So, for example, in the case of Sonic 06, I can freely admit that I just couldn't discern good or bad gameplay back in the day. So it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, I don't know, I haven't, what should I say? Like, back in the day, it was hard for me to discern, like, what was good gameplay, what was bad gameplay, and what necessitated good and bad gameplay. But as an adult, I understand that I'm not going to sit here wasting hours upon hours upon hours of my time doing the same level over and over again, and waiting on loading screens, and having to restart the game from the very beginning, because the game is just bad. Like, it doesn't work. The controls often end up working against you, and that is just objectively bad. There's nothing subjective about that. But when you're a kid... Oh, hey Ridley, welcome back. What? Sorry if I'm confusing everyone right now who just joined, but what I'm talking about is how beautiful it is when you're a kid that you're uninfluenced by popular opinion. You know, as adults, we always tend to take things at whatever the popular consensus holds. And while that has credence sometimes, actually most of the time, people have pretty legitimate opinions about things, and that's okay. But oftentimes we find ourselves not even touching something because we know that people are saying bad stuff about it. So therefore, it's just not worth talking about because, or it's not even worth looking into, because we know popular opinion has that this thing sucks. But when you're a kid, it's beautiful that you have a complete ignorance to societal influence, to where if you like something when you're a kid, you just like that thing. You just like it. If you like it, you're okay with liking that thing because you don't know what everybody says about it, and you're not influenced by what everybody thinks about it. You just like it. And you're allowed, when you're a kid, that kind of freedom to just be okay with just, when a new game comes out, you just kind of like take it and you're just like, yeah, it's a game. I like it. It's fun. You know, you don't get so critical. You're not so overly critical. So being a kid just kind of like is such a nice time because you're not so incredibly like minute and petty about the things that you complain about when you're talking about games. But when you're an adult, you start to kind of like pay attention to societal influence. You kind of start to pay attention to what the general consensus is about any one game. And you start to be a little bit more aware of what the problems are with games and what makes them objectively good or objectively bad. But oftentimes I've noticed that there's a lot of stuff that like oftentimes there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of like, is it really that bad though? Like, is there any reason why I should actually dislike this thing other than just the fact that everyone dislikes it and it's just popular to dislike this thing? You know what I mean? It's just like, why? There doesn't seem to be any particular reason for some things, and I'm not saying all things, because there are a lot of things that I can say that have very legitimate reasons behind them. That have very logical reasons to say, yeah, this thing is probably best to avoid because you're just going to waste your time. As adults, it's not like we can just throw around time everywhere willy-nilly. But as kids, we have no discernment for that because we could waste time, it's fine. Games are fun. They're supposed to be fun, it's fine. You know, we could spend time doing things that are a little bit more menial than others. But in a lot of cases, for adults, we find that, you know, there are times when our time could be spent a little bit better. That was really dumb, by the way. I shouldn't have done that. So we tend to be more critical, understandably so. But we also tend to listen to, as I said, we tend to listen far too much to what the world is saying about everything. And it's disappointing, because oftentimes we just kind of go with what other people say, and it's really frustrating when there's actually there could be just some enjoyment out of something, but we're so critical about everything nowadays that it's just like, it's almost impossible to enjoy something. Rebecca's gonna die for sure. I have no hope for Rebecca. Devin O. Welcome, Devin. Well, Ellawood's not the worst MC ever. I like him better than Robin, just a bit too perfect for my taste. It was ridiculous. Awakening wants me to believe some amnesiac tactician can be a good swordsman and come up with all these plans. Yeah, that's what I figured was going to happen to Rebecca. I'm not losing Rebecca that quickly. That's just sad. Yeah, I agree with you, Devin. Sorry. I was just kind of... I was kind of in dead mode there for a second because I have to restart this a second time. But anyway, yes, I agree. Oh man, I didn't click visit. What an idiot. I'm kind of like half paying attention, half not because I'm talking. But yeah, I agree. I think Robin is kind of flat, and I think Ellawood is great. Yeah, Ellawood's a good main character. He's not the worst. Robin is worst. I mean, there are a lot of worse main characters than Ellawood, for sure. Ellawood isn't flat, necessarily, but he doesn't have as much going for him as other characters do, I would say. And yeah, the way that Awakening handled Robin's sort of skill set was a little jarring, but what are you gonna do? Liking things as a kid is great. Being critical is just part of growing up. I don't have a problem with people who love something unpopular. However, it's when they protect things blindly. Yes, no, I agree with that. And I think if you're an adult that protects a property just because it is a property, for example, like if I were to say, hey, Pikmin's just the greatest game ever, and the only reason for me saying that is because I love Pikmin, that's childish. And that's why we call that childish, is because there's a childlike kind of, like, unfettered loyalty to something that you like, and it's a kind of a childish stubbornness that you don't need to have. It's kind of inappropriate. So yeah, no, I completely understand that. And as I said, there are justifiable reasons to not like things. I'm not saying like everything, because don't listen to society whenever whenever society says something's bad, they're always wrong. No, there are oftentimes very good reasons why everyone thinks that something sucks. I completely agree with that. I just think that it's nice when you're a kid and you can say safely that you like something and it's okay. Like, you don't have to worry about what everybody says. You can like something that you like. And if you have a good reason for it, even better. Like, acknowledge something had an issue and say, yes, I still love it and you're good. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, is that some people like to ignore very prominent issues about certain games, and I'm not about that either. But, you know, if a game has some issues, but you could see why the other... Like, if they at least have some justification for it, then that's okay. And, you know, oftentimes people will find something... And this is kind of where it gets murky, is that fun is very relative. Fun is not an easy concept to tackle down because it's incredibly subjective to everyone. Everyone has fun with something different. Your idea of what you find fun may not be what my idea of fun equates to. So oftentimes when we say things like, well, it's just simply not fun, it's just objectively not fun, well, maybe someone out there does find it fun to do that thing. And at that point, you just kind of have to say, like, well, alright, if you think that you do you. If you think that that's fun, then great. Because games are games at the end of the day. And if people can have fun with something, then that's the ultimate goal, right? That's the ultimate goal of any game. I think, at least, that's the ultimate goal of any game, is if the game accomplishes the player having fun, then the game has done a good job. If you are playing a game and you are having a good time, then the game has done its part for you. So, yeah, in that sense, games can be incredibly relative like that. And you could have, I mean, just look at how much fun people have had with Sonic 06. As objectively broken as Sonic 06 is, you cannot discount that people actually have fun with it, and that's why people still buy it. That's why people still stream it on YouTube. That's why people still do Let's Plays on it. It's because Sonic 06 is just fun to deal with because of its problems, and if that's your kind of fun, then great. If your kind of fun is dealing with broken games, then great. If your kind of fun is the game has to be very finely tuned and it has to be, you know, it has to be a certain way, or if you're very particular about the kinds of things you like in your game, and that's your kind of idea of fun, where there's like a lot of quality injected into it, then okay, good for you too, because there's no wrong answer when it comes to describing something as fun. There really isn't. And so it kind of is like, you know, whatever it is that you find fun. Me personally, I'm not too picky when it comes to stuff like that. If like I'm always down for a good round of Sonic 06 because of just how. And as I said earlier, I believe that Sonic 06 is just objectively broken in many ways. That game is just objectively broken, and it's not fun when you're by yourself, as I said, sitting there for hours wasting time trying to beat a game for no reason other than the fact that it's Sonic 06. That's not fun. What's fun to me is when you gather a group of friends together to laugh at something, kind of like just the fact that it is broken. It's kind of the same reason why nobody would play Skate 3 by themselves, because it's just so broken and not fun by itself. But if you gather a group of people together, it starts kind of gaining this sort of quality about it that's still redeemable in a sense. Not that I agree with games, you know, needing. That's the thing, is that I don't want to sound like I agree with broken games either. I think that should be made very clear about my opinions. I don't actually agree with broken games because they could be fun. I think that having fun with broken games is a good way to cope with them being broken if they are. And that's just kind of a happy accident, as Master Bob Ross would say. It's kind of a little happy accident that sometimes games that ship broken are actually still fun to play in that they are broken. Sometimes that doesn't work. There are cases where sometimes broken games are just simply no fun to play. In any context, without friends, with friends, it doesn't matter. But I feel like if fun will be had, pop the game in and just go ham. A lot of people think that, you know. Well, I think I'm beating a dead horse at this point. I think you guys understand what my opinions on that are. That's kind of partially the reason why I was interested in being like, maybe a Fate stream wouldn't be so bad. Just because of how much I could sit here and just kind of laugh off all of the problems I have with it. But in any case, guys, sorry for going on a rant there. That's just kind of some musings that I have about myself. I hope I wasn't being annoying by saying any of that stuff. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to stir the hive, as it were. Okay, so Devin O says, yeah, man, I wish they gave Robin, like, some flaws, like, they're maybe naive or sometimes something happens they couldn't predict, but no, they just shaft Chrom. Yeah, that's a problem with Robin's character that I think is kind of, I don't like that. Robin was kind of this character that just ends up being a character that has nothing to them other than the fact that they turn out to be the ultimate evil of everything. Chrom, and not only that, but the ultimate evil of everything that, like, ends up, like, giving Chrom the shaft, which is just kind of like, I don't know, purpose-wise, it didn't seem, like, too significant. But you're right, yeah, they should add more dimension and more depth to characters that you play as. That's why, looking at Three Houses and looking at Byleth, which is apparently the new lord, is slightly worrisome. Ever so slightly worrisome. Not like a lot, but it's just, I'm afraid that I'm just afraid that eventually we'll start to see some blandness in Byleth, because right now he really is just another blue-haired main character that we play as, and that's great. I like my blue-haired lords as much as the next guy, but I really hope that just because he's the avatar character and they're like, oh, we should have the player insert their own personality into this character, because that's what everybody likes, right? No, not everybody likes that. I would rather have an avatar character that I could design, but they make their own individual decisions, they make their own individual choices and mistakes. And they are flawed characters. Characters that are perfect are not interesting characters. That's always been my philosophy about characters and things like that. Characters need to have some kind of problems that are then resolved by the context of the story. That's how stories should be made. Is when stories are made, usually the context that they're in allows them to improve their personalities or to rethink themselves or kind of change their ways in a certain sense. That's usually how stuff should go. But anyway, yeah, much agreed there, my friend. It's good to have you in the stream, by the way. We like to see new people. Three Houses does, and mind you, Three Houses makes me very excited right now. So don't take that as, he hates Three Houses or whatever. He hasn't even seen the game and he's already bashing it. No, I just am hopeful that they'll do something a little bit more interesting with Byleth rather than kind of make him another Robin. I would not want another Robin or Corrin-like character. I think we have too much of that. I don't like it. As far as like how it looks like a really good mix of like genealogy and awakening and fates and echoes. Like there's elements of like nearly every Fire Emblem game in there. Like I'm noticing genealogy elements. I'm noticing echoes elements like weapon arts and stuff like that. I'm noticing tons of really cool stuff. And by the way, you kind of probably heard, like, if you're old to the channel, if you're channel veteran, then you would know, like, wait, did he just say there's Fates elements in there and that gets him excited? No. It's not the Fates elements by themselves that get me excited, it's how they'll fix them that gets me excited. Because Fates brought in a lot of very cool concepts, a lot of very cool ideas, none of which I thought worked. The My Castle feature needs to be implemented a whole lot better. The My Castle feature needs to be so that they fix the online so you can't just download other people's easy C's hacked units. That was stupid. That was very stupid. And that was a huge oversight on their part. I don't know why they didn't think that that would even happen in the slightest, because obviously it would.
Ellerwood, are you alright?
Hector, what are you...
Later. First, let's take care of these louts.
Right. But yeah, as it seems in the Three Houses trailer, it looks like they're bringing back the My Castle feature. If they fix the online with My Castle, and you can walk around in it in like a 3D space and everything, cool. Cool. I am 100% down for that, because the idea of My Castle in Fates was cool, but the problem with it was that it was mishandled. It was not done very well at all. I thought that the way that they handled My Castle and Fates was very tacked on. I didn't like it at all, and I thought it was really boring too. Like after a while I started seeing like how little of a point there was to any of that stuff, and I started really hating it. I was like, man, this is kind of a drag. Curses! Again, I just want to reiterate that I liked aspects of Fates. I liked the music, I liked the artwork. I even, in some instances, actually enjoyed the gameplay. But there are just some things about it that make it very irredeemable for me. Like story, I mean, Fire Emblem, whether or not you'd like to believe it's just a flat tactics game or not, Fates is very, I mean, not Fates, Fire Emblem as a franchise is very predicated and on narrative direction and story. It's not just a tactics game. It's a tactics game that has usually very deep implications, and it's frustrating to see that such a large part of the franchise was squandered. And it's just frustrating. It's hard to overlook because, you know, when you play a game, you kind of wonder, like, well, what am I doing all this for? You know, it's just like, what am I doing all this for? Why am I wasting time with this feature or that feature when I know that the story just kind of sucks? You know, it just kind of goes down to, like, why would I try to do any of these things? Devin O says, I like Three Houses. It looks cool, except the title name doesn't really have a ring to it, like Sacred Stones or Fates or Path of Radiance, but maybe that's just me. I like Three Houses. I mean, name-wise, I actually, I like Three Houses as a title name. I think it's unconventional, is what you might be referring to. Unconventional for me is kind of a breath of fresh air for now, because you're right, Fire Emblem titles have had a certain structure to them usually, and a break from that structure is kind of worrisome sometimes, but in the cases of Three Houses, I actually kind of like it. I like the sound that it has. Kind of reminds me of like Tolkien and stuff like that. It's really, really kind of cool, and it's relevant too. It's relevant to the story. It's directly observable from what we know of the game as we've seen of it so far. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And by the way, I'm sure that that's not just you. I'm sure there are others that actually don't really like that name or can't get used to it. But I'm sure over time the name will start kind of growing on people just as much as anything new does.
Phew. Is that all of them?
Hector, where did you come from?
Well met, Ellawood.
Yes, but what are you doing here?
You wound me.
How do you mean?
You're looking for your father, right? Why didn't you send word?
Your brother was just named Marquis Ostia. He's going to be very busy setting up his court council. Lord Uther must need your support. You are his brother, after all.
My brother is not so weak. Oh, he's mentioned some things in public, but he knew exactly what I was planning, and he let me go.
Is that so? Well then, it would be unwise to refuse his kindness. It does me good to see you, Hector. Thank you.
Think nothing of it. You know Oswin, don't you?
Well met, Lord Ellawood. It is good to see you again, Oswin. So you came as well? Yes, Lord Uther was worried about Lord Hector traveling alone. I've been ordered to keep a close eye on him. Of course. Good to have you with us. Lord Hector, why didn't you tell me the fighting was done? I apologize for the interruption. I couldn't restrain her any longer. Are these your companions, Hector?
Oh, yes, I suppose they are. One might have hoped for better, but...
That was uncalled for. I can't believe you said that. Matthew, did you hear what he said about you? Me? He was talking about you. Hector, why don't you introduce us?
The noisy one is Sarah. Believe it or not, she's a cleric.
Yes, I'm Sarah, my lord. Pleased to meet you.
And that's Matthew. He does a lot of sneaking around.
My lord. Sneaking around. Well, I gather information, open doors, chests and such. I've got nimble fingers. That sounds like a thief's work.
Well, don't let it worry you. But this journey, I suspect it will be harder than you imagine. You may have to accept things like this if you want to survive.
What is it, Hector? Do you know something?
Nothing specific. Rumors abound, though. A league of assassins from Bern has been moving around in Lycia. Experienced bounty hunters and mercenaries are vanishing.
That reminds me. One of the men who attacked us said something odd.
What was it?
Lord Ellerwood, if I may.
Marcus, good to see you.
Lord Hector, it's been far too long. Your assistance is greatly appreciated.
Come now, Marcus. No need for such formalities. Tell me what you heard.
Of course. The apparent leader of that gang of thugs. He indicated that someone was watching Lord Ellerwood. That someone needed him dead.
That is troubling. Actually, a captain of the guard was watching the fight when we arrived. He was a knight of Santa Ruz, and yet he just stood there and let a lord be attacked. I think he was planning on seeing you die.
So, Sarks, what do you think? You might be right. Something may have happened to Lord Hellman, too. Come, we must hurry to the castle.
Ellerwood, who's this?
This is Sarks. I required tactical aid in the search for my father, and...
Oh, I see. So this is who directed the battle plan back there, You know, Sarks, you're very young. We've many strategists in Ostia, but none so young. Ellerwood, you sure about this one?
Sarks is still a student of military strategy, but we've received nothing but sound advice so far. Sarks has my trust.
All right.
Actually, I'll do the heroes
All right. I suppose I shall witness your skills firsthand. Well met, Sarks.
Hello. How have you been, Sarks? My secret's revealed? Oh, that. Yes, it's true. My guise as a common thief was but a ruse. I have served House Ostia for some time as a spy of sorts. Surprised? Well, regardless, it looks like we'll be traveling together again. Here's to our mutual survival. Sarks, is it really you? It's been far, far too long. You missed me, didn't you? Of course you did. I knew it. Didn't I tell you before? I'm in the employ of Ostia, Lycia's ruling territory. I'll be here to help you just like before. Aren't you lucky? Hope you guys don't mind me going through the dialogue like that. I don't like it when I'm watching other streamers that just skip through everything. Doesn't give me a chance to actually enjoy anything, so... For archive's sake and for people's enjoyments, I try to make it interesting.
Ellerwood enters Santa Ruz only to be attacked by a strange group.
In a desperate moment, he is rescued by a childhood friend. Marquis Ostia's younger brother, Hector. The assailant's leader, also known as Chris Farley, reveals that an unknown party seeks Ellerwood's head. Ellerwood cannot help but think this is related to his father's disappearance. In search of more traces of his father's footsteps, Ellerwood sets out for the castle of Lord Hellman, the Marquis of Santa Ruz.
Master Effidel, what is the meaning of this?
Peace, Lord Hellman, whatever is wrong.
You said you were just going to frighten Ellerwood. Your man almost killed him. My patience is at an end. I've decided I must tell Ellerwood everything and apologize.
You would betray us.
I am tired of you and the Black Fang. Now remove yourself from my castle. Your presence pains me.
Lord Hellman, is there nothing I can do to change your mind?
Nothing!
In that case, you're no longer of any use.
What? Ugh.
There's the castle, Ellerwood.
We have to speak with Lord Hellman.
That's not gonna happen, laddie.
Oh, that's... I guess I'll have to... Look at this Irish bastard.
That's not going to happen, laddie.
Who are you?
Who am I? Oh boy, you'd better not worry yourself.
I'm sorry. It's so hard to do that accent without cracking up. Oh, chat's active. If there's going to be another Echoes game, I hope it'll be Roy's game, and he's in Smash after all. Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't mind that. Binding Blade or Genealogy, I feel like, would be excellent candidates for the next Echoes game. Clover, who's another member of this channel, has already released a video about her thoughts on that, and she's more leaning towards the Genealogy route. But yeah. I try not to skip stuff, but I'm not gonna VA it. Oh, no, that's okay. I know your practices, Ridley. You're good. Hello, Ninja. Good to see you.
We'll be worms, mate, before much longer.
You think so? I think my axe will change your mind.
Ha!
I skipped that line, so I couldn't read it, so I just... Okay.
Tell you what, if you make it to the castle alive, we'll find out, eh?
That's a dumb little laugh.
Hey, you. Yeah, the new dog. Get this right or you're gone.
I know. I just got this job. I don't want to lose it. Of course, the smart thing to do would have been not to get involved with this ugly bunch. Got to have gold if I want to eat, though. I was too picky before. If I think about the time I passed out in Ceylin... Ooh. Nothing funny about that. That man, what was his name? Matthew? If it hadn't been for him, I would have starved to death.
What are you mumbling about? Get over here now.
Talking about the new Fire Emblem game? Not Three Houses. We were talking about Three Houses a second ago, but yeah, as far as a new Echoes game is concerned, that's what we're talking about. Yes, I'm coming. At least I've got work. Nice to be working with you, Sarks. As a journeyman knight of Farah, I'm here to serve Lord Elwood and you, Sarks. I await your command. Why are you telling me that? You were just... That was weird. I was already using you before. Why are you just now telling me that? That's probably not a good idea, but let's see if he will do any damage that I can then pick up with Rebecca. You're happy it's coming out next year because it saves your wallet. Well, yeah, you speak for a lot of us there, buddy. I don't know if I'll pre-order. I don't see the... I haven't been pre-ordering anything lately. I mean, I've hardly been getting anything day one lately. So, yeah. I've hardly been seeing the point of pre-ordering. For me, at least, it doesn't seem like that worth it. Man, how much would it have sucked if I actually had Sarah die in the first part and have her not come back for this? That would have really stunk. By the way, there are people right outside my window, and they're being rather loud, so excuse them. Devin O says... Uh-oh, please don't kill her. Wow, that took out half her health. That was kind of a poor placement on my part. Devin O says, I played both if they do... Binding Blade, please get rid of that stupid desert, that desert map. LOL, OMG, that has to be the worst idea they ever had. Yeah, I've played Binding Blade. I have kind of what should I say? I have an emulated quote-unquote version. It's not emulated. It's a physical cartridge I got on Etsy, and it's a cartridge that has Binding Blade on it, but it has installed onto it the latest fan translation of the game. I have yet to beat it though, so as far as Sophia's map, I actually don't have much of an experience with it, so I couldn't tell you how bad it is, but as far as like hearing about how bad it is concerned, I've heard enough about it to know. And by the way, as far as Echoes is concerned, yeah, they kept a lot of stuff about it that was... I don't know if you guys could hear that outside, but there's some people that are really obnoxious outside. I really want them gone. Okay, I think we're good now. I think they left. So what was I saying? I completely lost my train. Thanks, guys. Sheesh. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. As far as Echoes is concerned, Echoes for Gaiden actually ended up fixing a lot of stuff that previously people thought was just really bad about it. But then again, it also tried to stay pretty true to it originally as well. Like for example, a lot of the maps in Echoes in Shadows of Valentia were not actually that much different, if at all, like different at all. A lot of them were the same. They also brought back a lot of Gaiden mechanics. And a lot of people like to say, well, you'd be surprised at how much they changed. Well, I think the phrase should go, you'd be surprised at how much they didn't change for it being a remake, actually. That's a little bit more accurate of a statement for me, is that I'm actually surprised they didn't change more from the original. So, hopefully, Echoes Binding Blade, for example, fixes that kind of inerrant kind of reverence that I don't think it needs. Because there were some aspects of Gaiden that I think were not super great, ultimately. Like bland maps, I do think that that was kind of a problem. Clover talks about that in her video, too. Oh, you can't hear them? Well, that's good, because they're really loud on my end. You're still new to the Fire Emblem series. Your first was Awakening. Cool. Good for you. I'm glad. Awakening is a good place to start. It's definitely a good entry. I would definitely pick up Echoes and play through Shadows of Valentia, because that is currently my favorite Fire Emblem game. It is just so good. I really, really love Echoes. I previously thought Path of Radiance was going to be my favorite, because when I was playing Path of Radiance, I'm like, yes, everything, yes to this, yes, 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 yes. It's so freaking stinking good. I love Path of Radiance. But then I played Echoes all the way through, and I was like, wow, geez. This one is actually really stinking good. So I think Echoes is... Shadows of Valentia is my favorite one right now. Path of Radiance coming close second, Radiant Dawn third. Well, maybe Radiant Dawn is tied with 7, actually. I really like 7, too. Which, just to clarify, Fire Emblem 7 is the one I'm playing right now, which is Blazing Blade. The Game Boy ones are a little bit hard to pick up, but if you still have a Wii U, Ninja, they are on Wii U Virtual Console. Both Sacred Stones and the game I'm playing right here are actually both on Virtual Console. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Radiant Dawn is also on Virtual Console. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that, but I think Radiant Dawn is on Virtual Console. That'd be kind of sucky, though, just because of the fact that Radiant Dawn has a lot of features that connect the first one to it, so I don't know. Wait, are you serious? What? Okay. I blinked. What the heck? Jeez. I didn't see that coming. Maybe I should have. Man, I don't want to restart that. That was totally RNG. That had to be RNG. Nope. It looks like he will do it like almost every time. Jeez, man. I'm gonna try one more time just to see if I can escape that RNG. If it is RNG, a third time will actually determine whether or not, like, this guy just will automatically just critical Hector. Or if Hector will critical him. Yeah, okay. So as far as I know, like, checkpoints like that, they save whatever RNG is going to be inflicted upon the next turn, so it's not RNG anymore after that, so I guess I have to restart it, man. That sucks. Wait, did I start the wrong one? I didn't start the wrong one, did I? I'm looking back at the stream just to check if I actually started the wrong save file. Sorry, it's taking a while to catch up. Okay, there we go. I did start the right one. Okay. You had to sell your Wii and Wii U. Oh, that sucks. I mean, I see why. I'm not saying like, wow, how dare you? You had no reason to do that, you idiot. I think everyone has a huge reason to want to sell their Wii and Wii U. There's very little reason to keep them. But that's unfortunate, because there are some games that are kind of, you can only play them on the Wii and Wii U, so... As of right now. But they are porting a lot of their Wii U titles to the Switch. As far as Virtual Console is concerned, though, doesn't look like we'll be getting any Game Boy games on the Switch for a while. Which kind of sucks, because I really, really want Game Boy games on the Switch. That would be awesome. Game Boy games, DS games, you name it. Original DS games, that is. Not 3DS games, because that would render the 3DS obsolete. Which it's starting to kind of dip into obsolescence a little bit, but it's not incredibly bad. You had to borrow Path of Radiance because it's good but so pricey. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I had to put money down for it. Because I know how rare it is to find, first of all. Like, to find it at a decent price, no less. Online! Ugh, man. Online, you can be sure that you're going to be scalped no matter what. Like, that's just the rule online. If you own a game like Path of Radiance, you're going to be selling it for a pretty penny. Thing with me, though, is that I actually found it at a local store, which, can you believe the amount of just surprise that I had when I had found Path of Radiance in a local store. Not a GameStop, mind you, it was a game store. But yeah, I actually had one locally spring up. And so I'm sitting here looking at the game, and I'm holding the box in my hand, and I'm sitting here like, I can't pass this up. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I just, on the spot, I just kind of gave into impulse buying, and I just got it. That was how I got Path of Radiance. And I don't know if you knew this, but retail prices tend to be, for used games, tend to be marked significantly lower than online prices because of scalpers and things like that. So they are marked a whole lot more fairly, I think, in retail. And so that's why I was able to kind of put down the cash for it. As far as Radiant Dawn is, though, I did actually go online for that one. I not only did I go online for Radiant Dawn, but I also bought a case for it, another case, because the first case was a illegitimate one, or at least it was a new one that had no game manual, and I'm a collector. So I need to have the game. I need to have the complete. I need to have the game box with the correct artwork, with the game manual included, with the disc completely unharmed. That's my rule whenever I get collector's items, because that's how the value goes up. Believe it or not having the game manual in the box actually decreases value significantly when you're dealing with older games. So when I got my Radiant Dawn, it was actually just it was one of the newer released boxes that didn't actually come with a game manual. And so I had to look online for the original box and the original manual. So I actually bought the game Radiant Dawn, and then after that I invested in, like, I think it was like 15 to 20 bucks for the actual box. I know that sounds crazy. You would never pay that much for like like you just want to buy another game with that. But as for Radiant Dawn and like Fire Emblem games, as far as like collectibles are concerned, that's a must. If you have the game, you got to have the complete package. That's just a collector culture, I guess you would say. It's nothing beyond that. Some people call it crazy, but other people kind of like can admire the persistence when it comes to things like that. I, for one, admire a really good collection. I can look at other people and be like, yeah, you put some time, effort, money, and definitely a lot of research. Because you do have to cut corners. When you're making a collection like that of classic games, of retro stuff, you can't pay full price online for every single one of those things. So you do have to find ways to cut corners, and that means deals or membership programs, sales, different websites that offer different pricings. eBay, sometimes you can actually find some really shady stuff, but you can actually find some people who sell things ignorantly. And I make sure whenever I see a price that seems kind of outlandish to me, outlandishly small that means, I make sure to tell that person, you know what you're selling me and you know what it goes for, right? And, you know, sometimes that ends up just screwing myself over because they then realize, oh yeah, I could be selling this to you for a higher price. And other times, they just want to get rid of it. Like, there's websites like Craigslist, for example, where they just are selling their kids' like library of games, and they're just selling it all because, I don't know, they're punishing the kid or something like that. And the whole purpose is they just want to get rid of the stuff. They don't want to have, like, it doesn't matter how much money they make, they're just willing to get it off their hands. So sometimes, even if you do tell them, like, hey, you know, you could be making more off of this, they're still just like, just take it, it's fine, don't worry about it, I'm going to be nice about this. So sometimes you do have to cut corners for stuff like that. Nintendo sold the Splatoon Switch box in Japan, just the box. Wait, really? Really? That's, wow, okay. I mean, Splatoon's not, like, collector status yet, though. And like, why would they just sell the box? That doesn't make much sense. I used to have a GameStop that was really cool. It had, well, it was me and Ridley's GameStop, actually. It had a lot of, like, really close friends in it. And it was really cool because those friends oftentimes, like, they knew I was a collector. And they knew that, like, I had collections of stuff that I wanted to finish, and they knew how much, like, boxes meant to me. So they would actually, like, I would find, like, for example, I have a DS game, like an original DS game. Like, Super Princess Peach was huge for me because I've had the cartridge for Super Princess Peach for so freaking long, but I've never actually owned, like, the complete package with game manual and the box and everything. And I found, at my local GameStop when they were there, I found the original copy of Super Princess Peach in the box with the game manual and everything. I'm like, hey man, I don't really want to pay for this game again. Like, I already have this game, but could I just take the box? And he's just like, yeah, go ahead, just take the box. And I'm like, wait, so I don't have to pay anything for it? There's no special rule about that? He's like, nah, dude, we sell the cartridges by themselves, so just take the box. It's no big deal. So he just gave me the box and the manual for free, and oftentimes that's how I would complete parts of my collection that didn't have, like, game manuals or box arts or anything like that. It was just, like, really, really cool of them to do that. I've tried that at other GameStops, and it doesn't work. I really have. I've tried that at several other locations, and I've asked, like, hey, do you guys allow me to just take the box and say, because I don't want to buy the game, I just want the box for it. And they're oftentimes bewildered about it. Like, they're like, no, I'm pretty sure you can't do that. You need to buy the game. But it's always like a, I'm pretty sure you can't, rather than, no, you can't. It's always like a floaty, like, maybe you could get away with it, but I don't want to risk it, so I'm not going to give you the box. Whereas my buddies at the original GameStop I went to, they were just like, yeah, dude, just take it, it's a box. I don't want to get Hector in that guy's line of sight, so I'm trying to be really selective about who I send. Marcus should probably take on the swordsman, because that would probably be good. These guys aren't ready to take on a swordsman. Like, they'll die instantaneously. Oh, I guess... Oh! That's the guy! Okay, alright. You know what? I actually realized my mistake there. His name's just Guy, but yeah. Man, I really hope Eliwood doesn't die, because that's what it looks like is gonna happen. I really hope that enemy misses. I don't want to have to redo this again. It was not a good stream for me. Oh, thank goodness. There's still... Well, he still has to dodge one more guy, though, actually. I think. No, he's good. Oh my gosh. Wow. What luck. Okay, good. Let's see. Yeah, Eliwood has got to heal, like, frickin' pronto. And I know Guy is capable of just completely destroying Hector, so I don't want to do that. I'll just take out the guy next to him. That should be okay. Well, actually, come to think of it, take out him with Rebecca. Take him out. Yeah, I missed them too, man. They were good GameStop employees. What do you want to see in terms of DS remakes on the Switch? Well, I don't know. Maybe if they remade Mario 64 for like the third time and just did what they tried to do with 64 DS, but like actually improve it and use like the Odyssey engine to like make all the characters work in it. That would be really cool, I think. As far as other DS remakes are concerned, maybe Professor Layton games? Yeah, Professor Layton games would be cool. It'd be also cool if they remade Prime Hunters. I don't know if you guys remember that game. Ridley probably does. I mean, yeah, he most likely does. But Prime Hunters for DS was cool. If they like brought that up to like maybe do some like cell shaded stuff with it. I don't know. Like bring it up to like graphically give it an upgrade or something like that, and then release it on the Switch, because that'd be cool too. As far as other DS games are concerned, I know there are more. There's definitely more. Yeah, there's definitely more, but I'd have to think on that for a little bit, because I have a lot of favorites. Princess Peach would be interesting on the Switch. Yeah, I agree. Princess Peach is another one that was cool. But yeah, I do have to think on that a little bit, because that's not a... It's hard to say. Oh, come on, man. Matthew is right there. Why do you gotta go attacking my healer? Messed up. Yeah, I'll think about that DS question. It's so crazy Ridley's in Smash. He looks weird. He's just not as intimidating like Sakurai originally said, but I guess fans matter. Yeah, I mean... I like his inclusion just anyway. I think it's a very welcome inclusion. Hold on, you. I know you. Isn't your name Guy? Is that you, Matthew? What a pleasant surprise. How's your sword work coming? You're aware this isn't the best place to be catching up, aren't you? You and I, we're on opposite sides here. What? Are you saying you're gonna fight me? Well, yeah, I'm much improved. You can't beat me. You're quite a terror, Guy. Well then. Hold on, I think I'd prefer it if you repaid what you owe me. Huh? Last time I saw you, I gave you food. If I remember correctly. You said you owed me your life. I only said that because you said you'd feed me if I did. I hadn't eaten in 10 days and you were cooking meat. This isn't fair. The people of Sakai never lie. Isn't that right, Guy? Fine. I finally find work and now I have to throw it away. This is all your fault. Yay, now I get to use this guy. Kind of unrelated to topics we were discussing just a second ago. What do you guys think of being able to see aggro lines in Three Houses? Is that his real name, Guy? Yeah, that's his real name. Yeah, his real name's Guy. What do you guys think about being able to see aggro lines in Three Houses? Does that kind of... Is that just like ultra casual mode, like... Is that just normie mode for you guys, or do you hope that should be disabled, or do you think it makes the game necessarily easier? Like, that was a necessary... They had to add this in order to make the game, like, improved? Or do you think that maybe, like, that'll make things too easy to be able to tell which enemies on the battlefield will aggro you and which ones won't? I know this is kind of a niche topic, so I don't expect all of you to be able to answer me accurately. But just as far as aggro lines are concerned, I don't know. I've been hearing some things on either sides of the situation there, that some people think that, no, you shouldn't be able to see enemy aggro lines in Fire Emblem, that makes it way too easy. Where's the combat in that? Well, other people have argued, well, it actually makes tactics a whole lot more... It makes actually planning tactics a whole lot easier, but it makes strategy actually easy. It actually helps your planning, which isn't directly influencing the difficulty of the game necessarily. It's just helping you... Whoop, that was weird. It's just helping you understand the map better, so there's less RNG. It's fine in my opinion, and I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind either. I was afraid to say that, because I was afraid that some of you would be like, yeah, that kind of sucks. But no, all I see there is another tactical tool. It is a tactical tool that allows us, it helps us to plan out our moves more carefully. That doesn't actually mean that the game will be easier because of it. It means that, well, perhaps sometimes they could have enemies that negate your ability to see their aggro, and so that could add to difficulty, actually. I think it may help since there are actual squadrons rather than just one-to-one fights. Yeah, I think so too. That is a good point. Especially with how we don't know how formations work yet. If, like, because apparently, like, there are different formations you can take. And that leads me to believe that some formations trump other formations. And, like, just how that works out. So there's, like, it seems like there's two triangles here. We're working with the standard weapon triangle that we've seen in Fire Emblem regularly. And then we're working with a formation triangle, too, which some formations are it's like another rock paper scissors sort of effect with the formation. So I'm thinking like that combined with the aggro, like yeah, aggro lines are fine. they're completely okay. Look at Guy, man. This guy's going nuts. I really hope he doesn't die, though, because he's kind of nearing critical levels here. I just got him. I would hate to have to restart this. And he does have some pretty interesting dialogue later on. Everyone's going to attack him. That's nice. Everyone's going to attack him. How nice. He's going to kill every single one of them. But this next one, if he gets hit, he's going to die. Please don't get hit. Please, please, RNG. Please, no! Well, that sucks. That really sucks. Oh my gosh, that really sucks. I was so close to finishing. That was probably not the best idea to put him in front lines anyway. Alright. So I do actually have to end this early, so I actually think I'll do that. Yeah, I have to leave in 3 minutes, so there's really no point in having to restart this anyway. I'm sorry I sucked today, guys. I hope it wasn't terrible and boring to watch just because I sucked so much at this game. I've just been really talkative today. I guess that's just kind of been distracting me a little bit. But yeah, guys, I do have to go, like, legitimate. I'm sorry it was such a short stream, but I do have to go in, like, literally 3 minutes, so there's no point in continuing the level any further. But yeah, sorry about that. And sorry about the lack of progress made, too. I know I've been kind of neglecting progress in this game, but you can be sure that I'm going to be more consistent with it. I don't think I'm going to turn the stream into another Zelda Encyclopedia reading session like I did last week. Even though you guys enjoyed that, and I enjoyed that. That was great. But we do need to make more progress in the game. So, in any case, guys, yeah. God, looking back, it's kind of sad. I wish they gave Lynn a bigger role in the story, like after her tutorial. She's just kind of there, but kind of not. Yeah, I don't know. I think late game, they sort of make something of her. I think Ellawood just kind of... When Ellawood reels her into everything, I think it's a... Her character is okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I like her. I'm a fan. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Much appreciated for having you around. Tomorrow, going back to Pikmin 2. So if you want to watch some Pikmin 2, tune in around the same time tomorrow, and we'll continue that game. So I hope to see you guys there. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming again. See you later. Bye-bye.